for another day of the week. Welcome to the Monday edition. We're back live here on Chasing That Paper, presented by VegasInsider.com. Hope everybody had a great weekend. I hope you guys won some bets. We have a jam-packed show planned for you today. 7 total bets across the NBA and the NHL. We're going to take a look at some March Madness futures. Talk a little Dallas Mavericks. Kyrie Irving not going very well, and we're going to have a season betting preview for the San Diego Padres. The start of the Major League Baseball season just a couple days away here. So without further ado, let's bring in my co-host for the day, senior editor over at BetMGM, Millen, for their New York City. Now, Ian off to a bit of a slow start this morning. He was a bit slow getting his picks in. We let him off the hook, though, because he was attending a Billy Joel concert last night. Now, Ian, from what I hear, Billy Joel Live sucks shit, apparently, from
what
people telling me. Any truth to that, or was it an enjoyable experience?
It was very enjoyable. Have you actually heard that, or are you just making that up? I don't know.
A good friend of mine, he sees all the big shows over at Taylor Swift over the weekend.
He's 73 years old. I mean, he's not going to be, dancing around on the stage and break dancing for us, but for a 73-year-old, he still got it.
Did you get a discount on the ticket because he's 73?
I did not.
No, so that's no excuse. So Billy Joel was all right, just all right, according to
No,
Ian.
it was good.
Here. Oh, okay. And you had a couple of drinks last night?
A couple of drinky poos?
What they charge for a beer at Madison Square Garden?
So Madison Square Garden, it's like a huge tall boy of a beer that you get, and it's like $20.
Watered down draft, $20. Sneak your own booze in. That old move, you put a pint back of your pants, or you wear cargo shorts. Ian, you own a pair of cargo shorts, Ian?
I don't. I wish.
Yeah, that's a move. All right, that's enough Billy Joel talk here. We got a lot to get to. So let's get right into the action. We're going to start things off in the NBA. And we got one of the biggest spreads of the season, certainly the biggest spread of the night. We have the Milwaukee Bucks as a 17-point favorite versus the Pacers. I'm not scared of that big number, homie. Give me the Bucks to cover this one. So check out the history of this matchup. This matchup has a rich history of one-sided ass kickings, and it's the Bucks that are swinging the hammer here. 16-1 straight up, 12-4-1 ATS in the last 17 versus the Pacers. 9 of those wins came by at least 20 points, including the 2 most recent matchups. The Pistons are an awful bet as a double-digit underdog, 3-10 against the spread, and in their last 13 as a double-digit dog. Milwaukee will be hungrier than a bear coming out of hibernation to pick up a W here tonight after losing their most recent game versus the Nuggets, and this has been a great spot for them. The Bucks, 13-6-1 ATS after a loss this season. Now we have many data points that support the Bucks here, even with this number up to 17 points. But most notably, effective field goal shooting percentage over the last 10 games, first versus 29. It's rock bottom in Detroit as they look to secure the worst overall record in the league. Well, it's no messing around for Milwaukee as they look to maintain the top seed in the East. Give me the Bucks minus 17. All right, Ian, we're over to the ice. What's your first pick?
First pick, I'm looking at game of the night here, Sabres and Canadians, and I like bet on the total. I like over 7, pretty high total, but I still like it, especially at plus money. We're getting plus 100 on this bet here. Canadians have been red hot with their shooting as of late. Second in the NHL in shooting percentage over their last 10 games, scoring on 15.26% of their shots on goal. And both teams or goaltenders have absolutely stunk lately. 28th and 31st in save percentage over their last 10 games. It has not been confirmed which goalies will play for each team tonight, but it doesn't matter. Whoever will be in net is going to not be a good goaltender. That we can rely on for sure. And the Canadians, they have been playing in a ton of high-scoring games lately. Over their last 10 games, their average total combined total is 7.97 goals. I think we're going to get another high-scoring affair tonight. Give me Canadians, Sabres, over 7 at even money.
All right, we're back over to the court where we are off to New York City. Another monster favorite. The Knicks coming in as a 13.5-point favorite. I am not scared of the big number, homie. Give me the Knicks to cover with the Rockets. And so the Piss Rockets, This is a CTP sweet spot. We fade them as a big dog. They are 4-17 against the spread in their last 21 road games as a dog of 8 or more points. Now the Rockets get smacked in the second game of back-to-backs. That's a situation they're in tonight after getting eviscerated by the Cavaliers last night. So check out some recent results for the Snot Rockets in the second game of a back-to-back. A 13-point loss to the Warriors, a 32-point loss to the Thunder, an 18-point loss to the Cavs, a 17-point loss to the Jazz, a 24-point loss to the Celtics, a 19-point loss versus the Warriors. They absolutely stink in this spot. Meanwhile, a pretty good game situation here for the Knicks, coming off a handful of losses, but they're coming off some much-needed rest. They haven't played since Thursday. The last time they had this much time off was out of the All-Star break, and they went on to win and cover in 6 straight games. And Houston tends to get their ass kicked on the road. Average loss on the road has come by 15.7 points. The average loss on the road, 15.7. Give me the Knicks as a big favorite tonight. Back to the ice. What do we got, Ian?
Underdog money line alert. Underdog money line alert.
Yeah.
Tito.
On it.
Pretty sharp today so far. I like it. All right. Yeah, my favorite underdog bet of the night here. I like the New York Islanders, small underdogs at home against the New Jersey Devils. I'm fading the CTP Darling Devils tonight. Give me the Islanders here. And a big reason why is because the Devils shooting has gone cold recently. Shooting percentage of just 8.38% over their last 10 games. That's 26th in the NHL over that span. And tonight's not going to be a good night to turn things around because they have to face Ilya Sorokin of the Islanders, who has been dominant at home this season. A .912 save percentage on the road, but a .933 save percentage when playing at UBS Arena. Also, the Islanders are trending in the right direction. To be fair, their stats still aren't exactly extremely impressive. But over their last 10 games, they're 12th in Corsi percentage, 12th in Fenwick percentage. That's higher than their season average. So they're playing some pretty solid hockey as of late, even though the record doesn't indicate that. They got Sorokin in net. I think they're a good underdog play here against the Devils at home. So give me the Islanders, plus 110.
All right, back to the court where we're going to take a big swing. We are swingers around here. Chasing that paper. Player prop tonight, Joel Embiid and the Sixers in Denver to take on the Nuggets. I'm going to take Embiid to score 40 or more points. You can get that at plus 220. So the season winding down, the big debate here this season, who's going to be the MVP? And Joel Embiid cares way too much about winning the MVP. He's obsessed with it as if it's the NBA championship. And we're going to look to take advantage here tonight because he's going head-to-head with the two-time reigning, defending MVP Nikola Jokic, and a big performance could go a long way towards getting some extra points. Embiid minus 145 to win the award as of Monday morning, by the way. And he has destroyed Jokic and the Nuggets before. Back in January, he dropped 47 points on them. Only 7 of those points came off free throws. Well, Nuggets not great at defending the paint. Embiid, 11 40 or more plus point games this season. He's having his best shooting month of the season, connecting on a ridiculous 59.7% of shots. Give me Embiid, 40 or more points plus 220. Yeah, baby. All right, Ian, your final pick. What do we got?
Final pick, I got another over bet, my second over bet of the night here. This one's between the Avalanche and the Ducks. 6.5 is the total. I'll take the over at minus 115 here. Let's take a look at the goaltender that's starting in net for the Avalanche tonight. Jonas Johansson gets the start for the Avs, and he is just not a good goaltender. Yes. He has an .884 career save percentage, a .340 goals against average. So the Avalanche are going to be struggling in their own end, and so are the Ducks. Because the Ducks or the Yucks or the Sucks, whatever you want to call them, 28th in the NHL in expected goals against over their last 10 games. But bright spot for both teams has been their shooting. They rank inside the top 14, both teams do, in shooting percentage over their last 10 games. Avs coming in at 11.82%. The Ducks, the Yucks, the Sucks, 11.52%. So we got sharp shooting, we got bad goaltending, we got bad defense. I think this is a recipe for an over bet. Give me the Avalanche, give me the Ducks, give me over 6.5.
All right, let's wrap up with my favorite puck pick of the night. We got a good-looking bet here in Ottawa, the nation's capital of Canada, of course. The Florida Panthers in town. I'm going to take those Panthers on the money line minus 135. So you dig into the numbers here. Big analytics edge for the Panthers, highlighted by high danger chances for percentage over the last 10 games, 4th versus 27th. Also a significant gap in expected goals for percentage and Corsi for percentage. This is mainly due to Ottawa's defense being complete in total dog shit. Last 10 games, 31st in expected goals allowed, last in high danger chances allowed. Panthers are on a strong stretch of defensive hockey, especially for them. The Panthers have absolutely dominated this matchup. 7-1 in their last 8 versus the Sens. They're running into Ottawa at the right time. Florida is on a 3-game losing streak, and they haven't lost 4 straight at any point this season. Give me the Panthers, minus 135. Yeah, baby. All right, guys, you know the drill. If you're watching on YouTube right now, do me a favor. Hit that like button right down there and make sure you are subscribed to the Vegas Insider YouTube channel as well. Lots of great content here at Vegas Insider. And if you're looking to tail any of that action or just place some of your own bets or fade any of our action, the choice quite simply is yours. I recommend placing that action over at BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. Let me tell you a little bit about them. Sign up at BetMGM and use the promo code VIBONUS1100, and you will get up to $1,100 paid back in bonus bets if your first bet does not win. That's VIBONUS1100. All one word, no spaces, for a first bet offer of $1,100 paid back in bonus bets. If you don't win, just use that code VIBONUS1100. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. You must be 21 years or older to wager. Offers for new customers only. BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. Yeah! Indeed. Oh, yeah. Double sound effect there. Okay, the Final Four set. Did anyone in the world select this Final Four? You often hear about these people who pick these crazy. Have you heard of anyone picking this as their exact bracket, Ian?
No, I would.
Four, excuse me.
I would say there's probably a 0% chance that anyone shows this exact bracket. I mean, UConn, obviously, a lot of people had UConn in the Final Four, and I'm sure a couple of people had Miami in the Final Four. But if anyone out there picked FAU against San Diego State on the other side of the bracket, then kudos to them. They should go buy a lottery ticket.
It takes balls not to put a number 1 seed in your Final Four. But here we are, and the odds are up for who's going to win the whole damn thing here. Odds to win the national championship. No big shock here. We have UConn. I think that's an all right bet at minus 125. They're followed by San Diego State plus 360. Then the 2 Florida teams, Miami plus 500, FAU plus 600. We put a poll up on the Vegas Insider Twitter feed asking the great people out there to weigh in for who they think is the best bet. And no shock, it is the favorite there, minus 125. Miami becoming a bit of a fan favorite, plus 500. Now, what says you, Ian? I give you $1,000 right now. You got to put it on one of these teams. Who are you putting it on?
Yeah, I'm holding a UConn 25-1 ticket, so I'm in a pretty good spot here right now. But if I were to probably bet on the current odds, I think I might go Florida Atlantic, to be honest, at 6-1. Now, I will say I have not been a believer of San Diego State or Miami. San Diego State, I've bet against them every single round, and I keep losing. In Miami, I think I did take them against Drake in the opening round, but I've bet against them every round since then, and I keep losing there as well. So maybe I'm not the best person to say to not take Miami or San Diego State. San Diego State, they can't shoot the ball, and I don't think you can win a national championship not being able to shoot the ball outside the top 200 in effective field goal percentage. I got to think that's going to come back to bite them at some point in this tournament. And Florida Atlantic is a very, very, very good team. I think people just don't believe in them because they're Florida Atlantic, because they come from the Conference USA, but they're good offensively, they're good defensively, they're good everywhere. I mean, UConn is the rightful favorite, but you give me free $1,000 to bet right now. Give me the Owls at 6-1. Hoot, 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 hoot.
Yeah, I think going into March Madness, we asked Ian a team to stay away from. I think it was that San Diego State team that you pointed to, if I'm not mistaken. So, hey, you're owning it, though, right? So we will give you a little bit of credit for that. So, Ian will be back with us on Friday. We're going to have our favorite Final Four picks for you guys then. But let's talk about the other basketball league, the NBA. Big story out of the league yesterday. The Dallas Mavericks dropped to 11th in the Western Conference, meaning if the playoffs start today, they wouldn't even be in the play-in. So pretty bad returns here on the Kyrie Irving deal for them so far. The season's not over yet, but they're 7-13 since acquiring Kyrie Irving. This is highlighted by back-to-back losses to the Charlotte Hornets here. They were favored by 12.5 in one of those games and 15.5 in another one of those games. So what am I getting at here? What I'm getting at is that the Dallas Mavericks might have totally blown this. I think that they did totally blow this, and this could be a failure of epic proportions. So they take all these assets that they have for a trade, and they decide to use that on Kyrie Irving, who becomes a free agent here after this season. He can walk, and they get nothing back. All of those assets, the way superstar players get traded in this league, they should have been a little bit more patient, because now they have nothing else left to trade. So what could this all lead to if Kyrie ends up... Do you even want Kyrie coming back? They're going to have to give this guy a max deal. This guy's been more successful getting head coaches fired than winning playoff series over the past couple seasons. But what could all this lead to? This could lead to Luka going into next season, surrounded by just a bunch of role players here. And what could that lead to? That could lead to Luka saying, fuck this. I want out of here. This has major shades of LeBron James's first run with the Cleveland Cavaliers, where they were unable to build a winning team around him. This looks like they're 0 for 2 when giving Luka a number 2. The first number 2 was Kristaps Porzingis. He didn't like playing with him. That didn't work out. He got shipped out. Now this Kyrie Irving thing, that's not working out very well either. So Luka can't walk until 2026. He'd be a free agent then. He'd only be 27 years old when that happens. But we know how things work in the NBA. Look at Kevin Durant. That guy requested trade. He says, I want to go to the Phoenix Suns. They trade him to the Phoenix Suns. Luka might decide to pull the plug. He might say, I want to trade. He might look at Damian Lillard up there in Portland. How has that worked out for Lillard? He likes to give himself a nice pat on the back for sticking around. Not going very well. I think he's walking that back a little bit himself. But yeah, I don't know if Luka, 3 or 4 years from now, is going to be on the Dallas Mavericks. What do you think of that, Ian?
I like it. I think you're right.
I mean, I think a lot of people take a look at the Mavs and they associate them with, of course, Mark Cuban, this fun owner and stuff like that. But they haven't been able to build around this guy properly. Is it ridiculous? Like now, Kyrie Irving has behaved for the most part. He said some. You don't want to put this guy in front of a microphone, for God's sakes. But Kyrie Irving is probably going to walk here in the offseason. And they took all of those assets. That was their one hand that they had to play, and it was a panic move. They shouldn't have been in a rush. Dallas went to the Western Conference Finals last year. They were in position to be in the playoffs. Now, like I said, if the season ends today, they're not even in the play-in. So an absolute disaster for the Dallas Mavericks here. Okay, guys, let me tell you a little bit about the VegasInsider app right now. It gives you all the major sports betting odds at your fingertips, along with picks and expert breakdowns. You can shop for the best odds, find props, futures, and plenty more with the app. Download the VegasInsider app on Apple or Android. Bet better with the VegasInsider app. Indeed, indeed. All right, guys, don't forget, if you're on YouTube right now, if you're in the live chat, or if you're watching the replay later, let us know what your best bets are for the day, for the night. Major League Baseball futures. Let us know what you're on. Have your say. Be part of the show here. So like I said, Major League Baseball season gets going here Thursday. We're very excited to bet over 1.5 walks for a handful of pitchers. When is Nick Pivetta scheduled to pitch? Probably over the weekend. That's an automatic over for me on that one. So let's take a look at one of the sexier teams, I think, coming into this season. The San Diego Padres expected to make some noise. Once again, a big-time player in free agency. So we take a look at their betting outlook here. 10-1 near the top of the odds board to win the World Series, to win the National League. 5-1 to win the NL West. Plus 120. I don't know about that. Over-under wins 93.5. Playoffs, minus 400 to get in. No, plus 330. So we take a look at the Padres from last season. I think it's fair to say that during the regular season, at least they underachieved, 89-73. They ended up sneaking in to the playoffs, but they had a lot of success in the playoffs. They made it a lot further than people expected. They get through the wild card round. They dominated the Dodgers in the NLDS, won that 3-1. Then, of course, they kind of fell apart, I guess, in the NLCS versus the Phillies. But, yeah, I think you could call last year a success for the Padres, making it that far. You take a look at the makeup of the team, a decent 1-2-3 in their rotation once Joe Musgrove gets back to join Blake Snell and Yu Darvish. And then I don't think it's a stretch to say, once Fernando Tatis Jr. gets back here, the best 1-4 in a batting order in all of Major League Baseball when Tatis joined Soto, Machado, and Xander Bogaerts, who the team went out and spent a fortune on in free agency. So, yeah, I expect the Padres to get back into the playoffs. I think that experience last year could help them. Would I be surprised if the Padres get around further, get into the World Series? No, I don't think he can go wrong with making that bet. I'm not picking them to win the World Series, but not a bad bet. Padres fans, I think your team is in a good spot. So, Ian, what's your overall outlook? Before we get into your best bet for the Padres, what's your outlook for the Padres in 2023?
Yeah, not as optimistic as yours, Joe. I'm not sold on this Padres team totally. I don't want to spoil it because I do have a pick where I'll break down why I don't think the Padres are quite as good as people are imagining. But yeah, like I said, I'll get into it, but I'm not as optimistic as you are about this team.
Okay. Yeah, so there's one player in particular I'm not extremely optimistic about, which brings me to my best season-long bet, my favorite season-long bet for the San Diego Padres, and that's for Fernando Tatis Jr. to go under his home run total. The number is sitting there at 33.5. I'll be taking the under, a little juicy, minus 125. I do think it is worth it, so just a ton of reasons to back up this bet. Where'd you get this number, 33.5? He's not eligible to return to the lineup until April 20th. That's 20 games right there that he'll miss. And this is for a guy that already misses a ton of time. His injury history is a massive red flag. At just 24 years old, this is a guy that's always hurt. Major shoulder and wrist injuries that have required surgery. He didn't have a single at-bat last season due to the wrist injury and his suspension. Missed 32 games in 2021. And he's not coming back as the same player that we saw here in 2021. How is he going to respond to the adversity and scrutiny? You know, he doesn't exactly return as a fan favorite after popping for PEDs. Not long ago, he was being groomed as the face of the game on the cover of the video game. Now he's viewed as a scumbag. Let's not sugarcoat it. He's going to get booed loudly in every stadium except for his own. So I think everything combined here, this is a major uphill battle for Tatis. I think he has a good season, but I don't think he exactly returns as an MVP candidate. So I'll take under 33.5 home runs for Fernando Tatis Jr., former steroid user. All right, Ian, what's your best bet of the season here for the Padres?
Yeah, I'm going with maybe a little bit of a hot take here, but I'm actually going to bet on the Padres to miss the playoffs at plus 330.
Ooh, okay.
Now, will they make the playoffs? I mean, sure. But I think at plus 330, I think it's some good value odds here. I think this is a pretty good bet. The Padres, they have a lot of depth issues. Joe, you talked with the top four once Fernando Tatis Jr. gets back in the lineup. But how about the rest of that lineup? Not exactly great. Jake Cronenworth, Ha-Seong Kim, Trent Grisham. Not good after the top four guys on that list in the lineup there. And you look at their bullpen could have some troubles as well. Josh Hader stunk last year as he had an ERA over 5. They got two good relievers, solid relievers in Louis Garcia and Robert Suarez. And then they have absolutely nobody in the bullpen. They have some major depth issues that will cost them. And Joe, you mentioned last year they just snuck into the playoffs with 89 wins. But they rank 6th in Major League Baseball in close game win percentage. I think that's actually going to come back to haunt them. a little bit this year, because to rank that high in close game win percentage, that's a little bit of luck. So they actually had good luck to reach just 89 wins last year. If we see some regression in that close game win percentage, they could be a candidate to miss the playoffs. And I just don't like teams that try to buy wins. I don't think that always works. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But I'm not sold on this team just because they went out and spent a lot of money. I will take the Padres to miss the playoffs. It says 3-1 there. I got it at plus 330.
Padres, baby. I don't know. I mean, this is a super sexy team. Buying a championship or buying wins doesn't always work out, but there are some red flags, absolutely. I mean, Manny Machado is rock solid. He's one of the best players in baseball. Soto had a really down season last year.
Yes.
Now he's going to have a lot of pressure to perform with a big-time contract pending. So we'll see how he performs in that situation as well. And Fernando Tatis Jr., who knows? You got to assume he was on the PEDs to speed up his injury healing or whatever. But who knows? Maybe he's been on them all along, and maybe he doesn't come back as the same player. Yeah, so who knows about the Padres? I think that they can get back in, though. It should be interesting. That rivalry with them and the Dodgers, seeing that continue. Okay, guys, it is now time for today's Handicapper Heat Check, presented by VegasInsider.com, your home for the best picks in the business since 1997. Today's featured expert is the mad scientist, as I call him, Will Rogers. Heating up 4-0. That always gets a laugh out of Ian. 4-0 NHL run, 12-1 NBA run at the moment. Scott Pritchard, 10-3 in his last 13. And Johnny Jorson is on 8-2 all sports run. Visit VegasInsider.com/picks for tonight's top plays. That's your Handicapper Heat Check. Stay hot, betters. Woo! So, Ian, as we discussed on Friday, and you saw me tweet about it there yesterday, I attended an 11:45 a.m. screening of Creed 3.
So insane.
And it was awesome. We had the entire theater to ourselves. We had the popcorn. We had a bunch of movie money. As I don't know if that's popular where you are, dear viewer, but money gift cards for Christmas. We had a bunch of them just piling up. So we didn't pay a cent. It was a great experience. It was a pretty good movie, Creed 3. Now, the challenge with these Creed and Rocky and most sports movies, you know the good guy's going to win at the end. So the story leading up to that is extremely important. I thought they told a pretty good story. It wasn't too long, pretty good action. The Nemesis played a pretty good bad guy. So yeah, a pretty good movie, not must see by any means, but Creed 3, a pretty good movie. And I walked out of the theater from the darkness of the theater to complete daylight, and I wasn't fazed in the least, Ian. I don't know what your problem is with this. You're talking about your eyes are burning from the movie, then you might have to get your eyes checked, my friend.
Well, it's more than just that. It's just the general vibes of being in a dark movie theater and then coming out and it's daylight. I actually ran a poll, Joe. I think you saw this. I ran a poll last Friday after the show, 431 votes, and I was actually shocked by the results. 63.3% of people said the afternoon is actually the best time to go to a theater to watch a movie. I'm living amongst psychopaths.
Surrounded by a bunch of who wants to go to and be surrounded by mystery strangers.
Movies are meant for the nighttime, Joe. They're meant for the nighttime. They're not meant to watch in the afternoon. Movies are that last thing you do before you go to bed is watch a movie.
I think you got to loosen your stance.
That is blasphemous.
We had the theater to ourselves. Us.
I don't see that as a plus.
There we are. My beautiful wife, you can barely see her. We had the whole theater to ourselves. It was incredible.
I don't see that as a positive. I like it when other people are in the theater.
You like mystery strangers sitting beside you? Some asshole sharing an armrest with some asshole like it's an airplane?
No, I like it when it's like 50% full. I don't want anyone next to me, but I want people in the theater.
I do not. I do not need to watch a movie. In no other situation would I watch a movie with strangers. It's a personal experience. You're gonna chat. I'll go out to dinner afterwards. Go have a drink.
So if you went and watched a sporting event, you want to be the only person in the arena?
That is completely different. That is
disagree.
100% different.
Thing. I think it's
a different atmosphere. You want silence when you're watching a movie. It's not going to a hockey game where you're hollering and yelling at the referee and standing up and cheering and music coming on and stoppages in play. Go! Out of your mind. I got to bring you to a matinee when you're back up here in Nova Scotia here this summer. We'll go see the 28th Fast and the Furious movie. They had a preview out for that now. I stopped watching them probably. You watch those movies at all, or?
Last one I watched was Tokyo Drift.
Oh my God, that's like the third one. Since then, The Rock has come and gone, and now John Cena is a part of this as well. Now Aquaman is the main villain. I forget what that guy's name. He played Drago in Game of Thrones. Jason Momoa, I think his name is.
Yes, correct.
John Cena was revealed as Dom's evil brother, who we knew nothing about. We just find out about him 9 movies in the last movie, and now they're friends. They have made up after trying.
I hate John Cena. I have no interest in watching.
You hate John Cena?
Yeah,
it's all about respect and honor. You think he's clean? You think he's a steroid?
That is blasphemous.
No, he obviously uses steroids. You have to look like that.
You gonna watch WrestleMania on the weekend?
I'm not.
Jeez, you don't do much, do you? I'll be tuning in for WrestleMania.
Not until they bring Booker T back.
He's on the play. He'll be on the call, the play-by-play. I think he does color commentary.
Interesting.
There we go. Ian's mind has been changed. There we go. Okay, and let's get going here. What do you got going on this week? We won't see you until Thursday again on Chasing That Paper, but what do you have going on that Chasing That Paper viewers can check out?
Yeah, check out the Bacon Bets podcast. I'm going to try to record an MLB season preview episode, or I am going to record it. I'm going to try to have it out tomorrow morning. So check out the Bacon Bets podcast. You can find all my written work. I'll have articles coming out throughout the day over at Fansided, which is where most of my written work goes at now. So
Fansided, yeah, indeed. Good stuff from Ian over there. Now we have the Masters are next week from Thursday. Is that correct?
Yes. That's right.
The Masters are a week from Thursday, so we'll have to get Ian to do something specific for Chasing That Paper in regards to the Masters. Maybe next Monday we'll look to get that scheduled out. If Ian is
Who
down
are you taking
for
for
that.
the Masters, Joe?
I'm going to go Tony Finau. I locked that in. I'm going to be paying attention to the line movement. If I can get a better number on him, I got a pretty good number on him as it is.
Big Tone.
As soon as that market. Big Tony, bet on Tiger to make the cut. Probably get a good number on that. Remember everyone took him not to make the cut last year? When you could get him to make the cut at like even money. Oh my God, I don't even bet golf and I bet on that. Are you kidding me? Okay, that's it for today. Thank you to Ian for joining us. Thank you to producer Tito for producing. Tito, kind of on the ball a little bit. I would give him I'd give him a B+ today, which might
I'd
be
give him an A-.
An A-? Okay. Yeah, pretty good. So good grades there for Tito. Hopefully good grades for our bets tonight. Best of luck to you, dear viewer, unless, of course, you are fading us tonight. And as always, keep chasing that paper. Whoa!